There are stories that stick with you, the ones that ripple through your spine whenever you think about them. And Annabelle, the name itself, has become synonymous with fear. The doll famously made her way into the pop culture consciousness through blockbuster horror films like Annabelle and The Conjuring. But how much of her story is real, and how frightening is the truth compared to fiction? Well, buckle up, because the real Annabelle doll's tale is not only unnerving, but downright chilling. This is the true story of Annabelle, straight from the Warrens case files. To start, let us set the scene. It is 1970. A mother purchases a simple Raggedy Ann doll as a gift for her daughter Donna, who at the time is a cheerful, bright 28-year-old nursing student. The doll appears innocent enough with its stitched smile, bright orange hair, and oversized flowery apron. Donna doesn't think twice about placing her new doll on her bed in the apartment she shares with her roommate Angie. But as we've learned time and time again, appearances can deceive. This wasn't just any doll, it was the start of a nightmare. Almost immediately, strange events began to happen. Donna and Angie noticed that the doll would shift positions without explanation. Sometimes it was subtle. An arm was raised or its head tilted slightly to one side. Other times, it was startling. The doll would move to an entirely different room despite neither of them touching it. Objects around the apartment began to shift or disappear, often reappearing later in inexplicable places. At first, they dismissed it as quirks, perhaps a symptom of stressful student life, but the occurrences only became more unsettling. One day, Donna found what appeared to be notes written on parchment paper scattered around the apartment. Messages like "help us" or "help Lou," written in a childlike scrawl, almost seemed to beckon to them. The eerie part? Neither Donna nor Angie even owned parchment paper. Where was it coming from? And who was writing it? That's when they realized they didn't simply have a strange doll, they had an uninvited presence in their home. Enter Lou, Angie's fiancé and a frequent visitor at their apartment. Lou had always had a bad feeling about Annabelle. He warned Donna and Angie repeatedly to get rid of the doll, but they were reluctant. Something about the doll felt unexplainably important. Lou's fears culminated one night when he woke from a deep sleep, paralyzed and unable to breathe. He looked around the room desperately, searching for answers, but his attention fell to one chilling sight. Annabelle was in his room, seated calmly at the edge of the bed. Before he could scream or move, Lou described incredible pain as invisible hands began strangling him. Moments later, the attack ceased, and Lou was left terrified but alive. This was a turning point. Annabelle was no longer just a curious oddity. She was dangerous. The hauntings continued. Lou later described another unsettling encounter where, investigating noises coming from Donna's room, he entered to find Annabelle lying motionless. As he approached the doll, he felt a sudden sharp pain in his chest and collapsed to the ground. When Angie helped him to his feet, they found scratch marks on his torso, 7 slashes that burned like fire. The cuts, horrifying in appearance, disappeared entirely after just 2 days. It was time for answers. Donna, Angie, and Lou reached out to a psychic medium who conducted a seance. The medium revealed that their apartment was inhabited by the spirit of a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had tragically died in the area years earlier. According to the medium, Annabelle's spirit claimed she felt safe with Donna and Angie and wished to stay with them forever in the doll. Feeling sympathy for the poor lost spirit, Donna agreed to keep the doll. She had no idea the spirit wasn't the sweet, harmless young girl it pretended to be. The paranormal activity spiraled out of control. Confused and terrified, Donna finally turned to experts, Ed and Lorraine Warren, the world-renowned paranormal investigators. When the Warrens entered the apartment, they didn't take long to diagnose the situation. Annabelle wasn't a mere haunted doll. The spirit attached to her wasn't that of a young girl at all, but rather a demonic entity attempting to manipulate Donna and Angie by feigning innocence. It had no intention of possessing the doll. Instead, its goal was far darker. It sought to possess a human soul. And according to the Warrens, that goal was dangerously close to being realized. Ed and Lorraine acted quickly. The doll was removed from the apartment, and the Warrens performed a series of protective blessings to shield Donna and Angie from the malicious force that had entrenched itself in their lives. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it only gets stranger. While driving back to their Connecticut residence, Ed and Lorraine placed Annabelle in the back seat of their car. Almost immediately, their brakes and steering began to malfunction. The car swerved violently on the road, threatening to crash on multiple occasions. The Warrens knew this wasn't mechanical failure, it was Annabelle. Pulling over, Ed retrieved holy water from the trunk and sprinkled it over the doll. Only then did the car's issues suddenly cease. Back home, the Warrens took no chances with Annabelle. She was placed inside their newly constructed occult museum, a room filled with artifacts from cases too dangerous to leave uncontained. Annabelle sat inside a glass case, locked away with the warning, "Positively do not open." To this day, she remains there, a relic of the paranormal and a reminder of the dark forces that sometimes brush against our world. But keeping her locked up didn't mean she was dormant. Over the years, many have reported experiences with Annabelle, despite her being contained behind glass. The most infamous tale from the museum involves a young couple who mocked the doll during their visit. The young man, banging on the glass and taunting her, challenged the doll to do its worst. On their way home, the couple crashed their motorcycle, killing the man instantly. The woman survived but claimed they had felt an overwhelming sense of dread since leaving the museum, and attributed the accident to Annabelle's wrath. Today, Annabelle is one of the museum's most famous artifacts. Though the museum closed its doors in 2019 due to zoning issues, the doll remains under strict care, monitored by the Warren family. What's most unsettling is the idea that Annabelle isn't just a doll, she is a conduit, a vessel for something sinister, something that will never stop challenging the human spirit with its darkness. So, is Annabelle truly contained? Or is her influence powerful enough to extend beyond her glass prison? That's for you to decide. But one thing is certain, if you ever see her, heed the warning. Never touch the glass. Never tempt fate. Because Annabelle is watching.